Hello students, in this video we are dealing with three Indian English writers named Meena Alexander, Mamang and Mamta Kalia. Let's begin with Meena Alexander. Meena Alexander was an Indian American poet, scholar and writer known for her work on themes of migration, memory, identity and post-colonialism. Born in Allahabad, India, she spent parts of her childhood in Sudan before moving to England and later the United States. Growing up in multiple cultures, she learned different languages including English, Malayalam, Arabic and Hindi. At the age of 13, she began writing poetry. She studied at Khartoum University in Sudan, earning a BA in English literature at just 18. She then moved to England for further studies and completed her PhD at the University of Nottingham, focusing on British Romantic poetry. In her 20s, Alexander moved to India where she became part of the literary scene, publishing her early poetry collections. Later, she settled in the United States where she became a professor and established herself as a prominent poet and writer. Some of her most well-known books include Poetry, Illiterate Heart, Atmospheric Embroidery, Quick Changing River, Mama, Fault Lines, an autobiographical exploration of her journey as a migrant and poet. Novels, Namballi Road, a novel dealing with political violence and resistance in India. Let's discuss the themes used by Meena Alexander. Meena Alexander's poetry and prose explore a range of powerful themes shaped by her experiences of migration, identity, and memory. Here are some of the key themes in her work. 1. Migration and displacement. Having lived in India, Sudan, England, and the US, Alexander often wrote about the struggles of belonging and identity. Her poetry reflects the feeling of being an in-between person caught between multiple cultures and histories. Number 2. Identity and self-discovery. She explores the complexities of identity, particularly as a woman, an immigrant, and a post-colonial subject. She questions how identity is shaped by geography, language, and memory. Number 3. Feminism and the female body. Alexander examines the female body as both a site of power and vulnerability. She discusses violence against women, particularly in post-colonial and patriarchal societies. Number 4. Post-colonialism and history. She engages with colonial histories and their impact on personal and collective memory. She critiques the lingering effects of British colonialism on language, culture, and identity. Number 5. Language and memory. She often reflects on the loss and reconstruction of memory through language. As a multilingual poet, she explores the role of English as both an inherited and alien language. Number 6. Exile and home. Her work deals with the longing for home, yet also the impossibility of fully returning. She explores how memories of past places shape one's present identity. Awards won by Meena Alexander. Meena Alexander received several prestigious awards and honors for her contributions to poetry and literature. Some of the notable ones include PEN Open Book Award. She won this award for her poetry collection Illiterate Heart, which explores themes of migration, identity, and love. Guggenheim Fellowship for Poetry. Distinguished Achievement Award from the South Asian Literary Association. Fellowships from the National Endowment for the Humanities. Fulbright Fellowship, Kerala Sahitya Academy Award. Next writer is Mamang. Mamang is an acclaimed Indian writer, journalist, and former civil servant from Arunachal Pradesh. She was born in Pasigat and belongs to the Adi tribe, one of the indigenous communities of the region. She initially worked as an officer in the Indian Administrative Service, but later turned to writing and journalism to bring attention to the culture, history, and struggles of Northeast India. As a journalist, she worked with major media houses like The Telegraph and the Hindustan Times, covering issues related to the Northeast. She was also a member of the Indian National Commission for Women, advocating for the rights of women in the region. Major themes: Indigenous identity and oral traditions, folklore and mythology of Arunachal Pradesh, the impact of modernization on tribal communities, nature, landscapes, and ecological concerns, political and historical struggles in the Northeast. Notable works: 1. The Legends of Pensa, a novel blending history, folklore, and magical realism set in a fictional tribal village in Arunachal Pradesh. 2. River Poems, a poetry collection where rivers serve as a metaphor for memory, life, and identity. The poems reflect on the landscapes of Arunachal Pradesh and the relationship between people and nature. 3. The Black Hill, which won Sahitya Akademi Award, a historical novel set in the 19th century depicting the arrival of Christian missionaries in Arunachal Pradesh. It explores cultural conflicts, colonialism, and the resistance of indigenous communities. 4. Stupid Cupid, a contemporary novel with themes of love, relationships, and urban life, showing her versatility beyond indigenous and historical themes. 5. Mountain Harvest, a documentation of Arunachal Pradesh folklore and cultural heritage. Awards and recognition: Sahitya Akademi Award for The Black Hill, the highest civilian honor in India. Padma Shri for her contributions to literature and education. Mamang Dai's work is essential in Indian literature as it gives voice to the indigenous communities of Arunachal Pradesh, blending oral traditions with modern storytelling. Next, Mamta Kalia. Mamta Kalia is an Indian writer known for her contributions to Hindi and English literature. She was born in 1940 in Vrindavan, Uttar Pradesh, and grew up in Agra and Allahabad. She studied at Allahabad University, where she was influenced by the city's rich literary and intellectual tradition. Kalia worked as an educator and later became the editor of Vagarth, a Hindi literary magazine. Her writing is known for its sharp social commentary, humor, and deep exploration of middle class life, gender issues, and contemporary Indian society. Themes: middle class struggles and social realities, women's issues and feminism, satire and humor in daily life, changing social values in urban India. Her notable works: Number 1. Bigger. One of her most famous works, Bigger, is a powerful feminist novel. 2. Narigon Ke Gaon, a satirical take on a world run by women, questioning traditional gender roles. 3. Dod focuses on the fast changing urban landscape and the impact of modernization on relationships and families. 4. Boli 2, a collection of short stories exploring the struggles of ordinary people with sharp wit and realism. 5. Ek Patni Ke Notes, a humorous yet thought-provoking series of essays on marriage and domestic life. 6. Tribute to Papa, one of her significant works in English exploring family relationships and generational conflicts. Awards and recognition: Vyas Samman for her novel Dukh Mukti, a work exploring pain and liberation in women's lives. Sahitya Akademi Award for her contributions to Hindi literature. So Mamta Kalia is celebrated for her sharp observations of society, realistic portrayal of women's issues, and her ability to blend humor with deep social critique. She remains a significant figure in contemporary Hindi and Indian English literature. Hope you understood the class. Thank you.